Every few years, one ocean throws a switch that scrambles the weather of the entire planet. Floods on one side of the world, droughts on the other, and record-breaking heat. It is a natural climate event called El Niño, and, in its strongest form, we call it a super El Niño. It begins in the Pacific, but its reach is truly global. To understand it, first meet the normal Pacific Ocean. The tropical Pacific is a giant engine driving Earth's weather. Steady winds, called the trade winds, blow along the equator. They push constantly from east to west, dragging warm surface water toward Asia and Australia. Warm water piles up. In the western Pacific, a huge warm pool. Over that warmth, air rises into towering thunderstorms, bringing heavy tropical rain to Indonesia and the West. Meanwhile, off the coast of South America, the winds pull water away. So cold, deep water rises up to replace it, called upwelling. That cold water is packed with nutrients, feeding huge schools of fish, like the anchovies off Peru. So normally, the west is warm and wet, the east cool and dry. A balanced seesaw across the entire Pacific. But every few years, this balance suddenly breaks. The trade winds weaken or even reverse direction, and the warm pool held in the west starts to slide back east. A vast wave of warm water spreads across the Pacific, heading straight for South America, and the cold upwelling off Peru simply shuts down. Now the warmest water sits in the center and the east. The whole ocean has flipped. This is El Niño. It was named long ago by Peruvian fishermen, who noticed the warm water arriving around Christmas. El Niño means the little boy, or the Christ child. And when the warming is extreme, it becomes a super El Niño. Scientists measure how far the ocean heats above normal. More than 2 degrees above normal counts as very strong. And here is the key. The rain always follows the warm water. So the storms shift east, away from Asia. Indonesia and Australia, now over cooler water, dry out, bringing drought, failed crops and raging wildfires. While Peru and the eastern Pacific are lashed with torrential rain and floods. But El Niño does not stop at the Pacific, because the tropical Pacific steers winds across the whole planet. A shift here ripples outward to every continent. The jet streams bend, dragging storms to new places. California can be battered by floods and mudslides. East Africa is drenched with heavy rains. India and parts of Africa can see their monsoon rains fail. Even the vast Amazon rainforest can dry out. Atlantic hurricanes are often suppressed, but storms in the Pacific can surge instead. And across the whole globe, temperatures spike upward. El Niño years are almost always among the hottest on record, because the ocean pours its stored heat into the air. The great Super El Niño of 1997 and 98 briefly pushed the global average up by over a degree, and stacked on top of modern climate change. Recent Super El Niños helped drive the hottest years ever measured. So this one ocean pattern can tip the entire planet's thermostat. But the real cost is paid down here, on land and at sea. And the damage can be staggering. In the warmer seas, Coral reefs bleach ghostly white and die. Off Peru, the fish vanish when the cold nutrients disappear. Entire fishing industries can collapse in a single season. Crops wither in drought on one side of the world and drown in floods on the other. Changed rains can even spread disease. The strongest events caused tens of billions in damage. The 1997 to 98 Super El Niño alone cost tens of billions of dollars. And, tragically, thousands of lives. El Niño also has a mirror twin, its cold opposite, a cooler phase, known as La Niña. Together, they are Earth's biggest climate swing after the seasons themselves. They return irregularly every 2 to 7 years. Today we watch the Pacific with satellites and ocean buoys and can forecast these events months in advance. But a warming world may make Super El Niños stronger and more frequent. One quiet shift in one ocean, deciding the weather for billions of people. If you learned something new, subscribe and let's keep exploring our world.